Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of High Risk Podcast, a pro wrestling podcast that's by the fans, for the fans. I'm Matt Sharp, joined by my co-hosts Noah Sharp and Scott Colley. Guys, yet another week. How we doing?
Another day, another dollar, except we don't get paid for this show.
We definitely don't.
Yeah.
We don't. Scott?
I mean, I get paid to go to work during the day, so I guess I technically made a couple dollers today, so that's good.
All right.
No, I'm fine. It was a week in wrestling. It is what it is.
It was a week in wrestling, but I mean, it's not like SmackDown didn't carry this entire week on its back, if you ask me. Raw had some pretty good segments, but I think SmackDown was just overall the better show. I think that, for the most part, is per the usual nowadays. But it was another week, but this week has been better than past weeks.
I mean, it was fine. I'm not saying it was a bad week. It just nothing really stood out to me. It was just another week.
You mean something that Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens did not stand out to you? That was a great... What are you talking about? Get out of town.
I have no comments for that. You already know my feelings.
If that match did not, that was probably the best match he's put on since...
Honestly, I didn't like the finish of that match, to be honest with you. If you want to get into this right now, I did not like the finish of that match. Your U.S. title holder lost clean straight in the middle of the ring. No shenanigans whatsoever, and Kevin Owens is supposed to be more this powerhouse, and just loses clean in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, because Shinsuke Nakamura is also a powerhouse. Yeah, there we go.
He's fine.
Wow.
He's fine. I don't like how they're calling him the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura or the Rock Star. I think those are a little ridiculous nicknames, in my opinion.
What did he?
I might also be biased because I don't like him that much.
Did he have?
Not that I don't like him. He doesn't do anything that stands out to me.
Did he have a nickname in NXT? Is it the same thing? Or?
He was the King of Strong Style, which that's kind of who he is all over.
Why don't they just carry that over? Why?
Because Vince.
It reminds me of that Finn stuff, the Demon King. Why does Finn need to be the Demon King? Why can't he just be the Demon?
Cesaro used to be known as Antonio Cesaro, I believe, in NXT or something like that. Dropped his first name.
Yeah.
Big Cash used to be Colin Cassidy, then he went to the main roster. I mean, the list goes on and on. Adrian Neville is now just Neville.
Yeah. Well, my thing is just for Shinsuke going from the King of Strong Style to what he is now, it makes sense because whenever people hear of King of Strong Style, they may want to look up Strong Style and where did that originate from? New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Japanese style of wrestling. So Vince probably saw that and was like, Strong Style, get that crap out of here. No way. None of that Japanese stuff. Not here. I was like, well, I mean, it's just a different style of wrestling, and it would work so well with the type of production that WWE puts on. And I mean, it's crazy because NXT, some of their matches could be considered Strong Style-esque. Yeah. I know that the UK match at TakeOver Chicago, that looked like it could have easily been on a New Japan show, if anything. I mean, so I don't know. That's if you ask me, that's probably what happened. Vince saw and was like, I don't want them going to our competitor, or just do a quick little Google search and figure out where that came from.
Yeah, and I mean, Vince does that type of stuff. How he changes how things are worded. Instead of the superstar shakeup, it wasn't classified as a draft. They called it a superstar shakeup. You don't know why Vince decided he didn't want to call it a draft. There's just stuff like that. Vince has his way of thinking, and he's going to change things how he wants to see things, I guess.
If only there was a word for that. I mean, what is it? Vincing things up. Yeah, there we go.
It's also called tanked ratings.
Oh,
true that.
What they're the lowest since 1996.
Yep.
Let's think about what the WWF was in '96. Brutus the Barber
Yeah.
Beefcake, and
some of the more cornier gimmicks,
just on the cusp of the attitude stuff, but not quite there yet. Your ratings now are worse than back then when that was your product. Wow, Vince, open your eyes, man.
Yeah,
open your eyes.
So I was thinking about this on my workout last night. What can
I like how he throws that in there.
Yeah, on
my workout last night. I was getting swole.
What does the WWE need to do to get those ratings back? Because to me, I don't like. It took quite a little.
Put on a better product than what they're offering now.
Okay, so what are the tools to do that? What does the WWE need to do to maybe regain the fans that they lost? To pull those wandering eyes back in. I mean, I feel like the big step is to make Raw 2 hours, because I think
this is not going to happen. They're not. They just aren't. They're not going to do it.
Happen, no.
They're not going to do it.
It won't happen until they go to renew the contracts with USA. I guarantee it, because at that point, what it's going to come down to is, and I understand, Heyman has gone on and talked about like why that won't happen, and I get his side of it, and I get the business stuff, but I just feel like USA, granted Vince has he's in with them, knows them. It comes down to the numbers and the dollars, and if Raw is a detriment to USA, they're going to get cut.
Oh yeah,
Sci-Fi's not going to take them because SmackDown tanked over there. Yeah. And that's not even a fit. Like, why would you put wrestling on Sci-Fi?
I mean, you still have Raw. That's like one of the top 5 TV shows on television every single week. It's just not putting up the viewers or the ratings that it used to put up. So it's not that the show is like completely tanking. It's just not doing as well as it has been in the past. That we know it can be.
Well, that's the problem.
and if they don't like wake up to it now and make some
I mean, there's still like the top 3, 4, 5 TV shows on a weekly basis.
Yeah, there's no, I just feel like if they keep going down this road in 2 or 3 years, when it's time, or however long it is, when it's time for them to sit down with USA and figure out if they're going to re-sign or whatever, if they go down the road they're going now, USA, they're not going to want them.
Because think of it, where they are now, and then obviously whenever football starts back up, it's obviously another big ratings loss for them. To me, where their ratings are now, and then go ahead and throw the football season in there, they're going to tank even more. They're going to be worse off than they ever were. Your next lowest rating is going to be whenever the football season kicks back in.
Anyway, to go back to your question, Noah, what can they do to change things?
Yes.
First off, I mean, well, Matt, we'll go ahead and just go into Raw. Matt, what do you think of Raw? Was there good segments, bad segments? What happened? We'll see what you say about Raw, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, I've said this about Raw for the last few weeks. There's just so much bullshit. If you cut the BS out, like SmackDown
for instance,
Live, there's so much. Just the backstage segments, all the talking and stuff. SmackDown does a good job of talking when they need it, telling that story, having something to say, but then you also have all these matches and stuff, as where with Raw, you could go from one commercial to the next, and in that gap, not seeing one match. And had watched, 15 minutes of TV and not seen not one match. So, and I feel like the stories that they're telling, a lot of times it's lacking. So, what I liked about this week, I liked the Kurt Angle and Alexa Bliss. I like that Kurt acknowledged, since we talked for 15 minutes about it last time, about that this is your life or whatever, how that tanked.
And they admitted that they had a bad segment, basically.
And then she was like, well, I want to do This Is My Life. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. And then Kurt saved the day. He's like, that's a bad idea. That segment last week was the worst ever. So I'm glad that when they're wrong, at least in this case, they were willing to admit it. I like that Nia was in the title picture. I did not like how that match ended. There was some shenanigans, some disqualifications going on. And then it makes me wonder, are they going to have Nia feud with Mickie James and Dana Brooke and then keep Bayley in the title scene? Or is there still going to be... I just think, that title, it needs something besides Bayley. Mm-hmm. So...
I think now would be your perfect time to go into your Bayley Sasha's heel turn and go ahead and start that story to go into. I'm assuming you want that to be your SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
To me, that won't be one of your big build matches on there. Is go ahead and have them start feuding and get that developing so you're really involved. I mean, you got what? When is SummerSlam anyway?
Is it usually it's in August, ain't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I want to
I think
see how many weeks they have.
I think I saw an ad for Brooklyn already.
Yeah,
I was
like,
oh, nice.
Sunday, August 20th. So we've got here 7, 8, 9. So you got 10 weeks until SummerSlam. So I don't know if you want to do it now because that's a lot of. You got 10 weeks to try to carry that storyline. I mean, they can do it. They've done it before.
Well, we would just see the same match over and over, and I feel like
that's what they got to do. Is they can't. I feel like you got to hold that match off. You can't. You can get those two involved with each other without having them be in a match.
Yeah.
So why don't? And this will probably be like really out of the blue, but give Emma a big push the same way they gave Jinder his push. If they want to do Nia, Mickie James, and Dana, I'm fine with that as long as if Nia goes over to make her look strong, because they always say it that Nia is one of the most dominant women or whatever on the roster, and the only time that I ever believed that was at WrestleMania, because that was the first time that she actually looked really strong and held her own in a match. And go figure, that was also one of her best matches, too, because of that back suplex she took. Her first legit.
There was also 3 other girls in that match, too. Mm-hmm. Just want to point that out there.
Oh, no, I ain't holding down. But, yeah, they definitely... she was carried, but that was the best that she definitely looked throughout that entire match. So, to build up her further dominance, go ahead and feed them out to Mickie James and Dana Brooke. That'll be fine. Put Nia over some more. And then just really, if they want to keep Sasha on 205 Live for whatever reason...
I hope not.
I hope not either, but if they really want to, then I say, let's go ahead and give Emma something to do, and that'll give you a couple pay-per-view matches, at least one from now to SummerSlam, and then after that, you can start a feud with... You can maybe have Sasha go for the title once, and then her loss to Alexa trigger her further heel turn or something. But something about Emma in the title picture, it's newer, it's fresher.
You just haven't seen it. Like you've seen Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte since last August.
My thing is, even seeing Nia Jax in the title picture, or just seeing her look dominant, or because I can see it now, a handicap match, Dana Brooke, Mickie James take on Nia. It's not like a squash match, but it's something that definitely puts Nia over. I would love to see that if it's done right.
Well, Matt, has Nia looked better in the ring, or is she still?
To me, it all depends on who she's wrestling. Her and Alexa Bliss, I didn't mind it. It was all right, but to me, again, that finish kind of soured the whole thing. I don't know why I got my hopes up at all, but I really thought okay, it's for the title. What if out of nowhere Nia just gets the title and runs with it for
Yeah.
I thought, man, that would be some shit. That would be something. Mm-hmm. But now that you put it, with the triple threat and everything, okay, I could kind of get on board with that too. So yeah, she's looked a little better, but to me it just depends on who she's in there with. So
I think this goes back to one thing we talked about last week and how there's there's not really that one backbone of the women's division on Raw. I mean, you've got Alexa Bliss who's solid. You got Sasha and Bailey who, I mean, they can put on good matches, but there's not, since they moved Charlotte over,
Yeah.
there's not one person that is just, like I said, the backbone of that division.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you've got Charlotte, Becky, and Natty all over on SmackDown. I think if you had one of those girls over on Raw to kind of help solidify that, well, I don't know about solidify, but just kind of just hold it all together and kind of be that one person that kind of just allows everything to work. As it like now, it's just so they're just all over the place. It seems like they just don't know what they're doing with all the girls.
And that's the thing. They just need to do something and pick somebody and just run with it. You have women on Raw that can do great work. They're good on the mic. They,
if you let them,
Yeah, they just have to trust the talent that they have. Granted, they might be a little green, but trust the talent that you have. Let one of them, step up, carry the stuff. And I think maybe Miss Bliss is probably going to be the one that gets that spot, maybe. But just because she's what's hot right now, I don't know if she's right for it, but I don't know. Yeah, they definitely need something. They need somebody to step up.
So we can conclude from this that their storytelling and use of roster is one reason why you could say ratings are going down.
Yeah.
Totally.
Bullet point number 1. Mm-hmm. Just trying to bring it all back together, guys.
Yeah. That's fine. Well, I'll jump to the segments that work for me. I love the story that they got going on with Cass and Enzo Amore. First, it was Enzo that was getting his butt beat and everything, getting knocked out. But this time it was Cass. And so I guess whenever they went to go check on him, he got up and there's a gold chain there that, who's the only guy there that wears like 1,000 pounds of gold around his neck? Enzo. So, he's like, man, whoever came and did this to you, they had to put this here, blame it on me and stuff. So I love that we're getting this kind of old school, who's the one that's doing it, keeping me guessing. That's one thing that keeps me watching. It's a little thing, but that's one thing that makes me want to tune in. I just wish there was more of stuff like that. Again.
You know who I think they should bring in to help solve this case?
Who?
The Fashion Police.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, if their most recent Fashion Police skit or whatever, on their like little bulletin board or whatever, they had a picture of Enzo, but it said "not in our jurisdiction." I thought that was great. Yeah.
Easter eggs, man. The little.
Yeah, if you look at their bulletin board, it's hilarious because they've just got like stuff all over them. It's pretty funny, this little stuff. Anyway, back to Raw.
Yeah. No, but I just feel like as far as the.
Oh yeah, is there any more evidence leaning one way to the culprit?
No, not from what I can tell. To me, it's still now that Cass has gotten knocked out stuff. Is it Enzo that did it because the speculation that Cass is the one that did it because the shaking of hands? Since we found the gold chain, is it him or is it somebody that's planting that? So I don't know. But whenever I saw that gold chain, I was like, oh, who is it? So it's like, oh, they got me. They reached out, grabbed me. So. Again, that's one thing. That's the talking that we need. Those are the segments that make sense.
They're actually keeping you invested in that story.
Yeah, give me stuff like that. Don't just give me BS. Stepping away from that, Samoa Joe's work on Raw, loved it. The bit with Paul Heyman coming out. And Samoa, I don't know if you guys watched, but Samoa Joe, Paul's about to leave. He puts down his mic and tells Paul to come over, and he's talking to him, and he's like, this is what I'm going to do to you. You're going to feel your neck tighten up. Your vision's going to blur a little bit, and I want you to tell this to Brock, that he is the reason why this is happening to you. All the pain you're going to feel. It was just this dark, gritty Samoa Joe that we need. And so, it was just awesome. It was great to watch that. And
then he ate the
he ate it.
Coquina clutch.
Yep, he ate it. And
I can't say it.
now they've decided this is the only other point that I have for Raw. Definitely an answer to the ratings dropping is that they're going to bring Brock out next week on Raw, and they said it's time to unleash the beast. So I don't know if this means an official sanctioned match, which I doubt it will. It's probably going to be some backstage, knockout, drag out brawl that leads out into the ring and somebody goes through a table, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm excited just to see that. I know they're going to make me wait until the third hour and the last 15 minutes of the show to watch it.
Yeah.
Which sucks. That's one thing. I get the strategy behind that, but as a fan, it just sucks. But I get it. So yeah, that's one thing too that Raw needs to do is you have a title, a major title, we need to see it, And if somebody isn't going to be there at least every other week, every 2 weeks, that person is dead weight to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing nothing for the company at all other than sitting there getting a check. WCW all over again.
I mean, if...
Oh, sorry.
So, I mean, Samoa Joe, everything he's done back from his TNA days to now.
Very surprising win, in my opinion. Very surprising.
Yeah. His work is, whenever the spotlight is put on him, he can do really good. Because, and especially on his mic work too, if you go back to his feud with Finn and look at all the mic work he does there, or even his stuff with Shinsuke and Nakamura, that feud there was carried by Samoa Joe and his promos with William Regal. So now that finally Samoa Joe,
he's just been in the business for so long that I think he knows what he needs to do, knows what he needs to say to get his point across. So
I hope that this is a thing where Vince has always trusted Joe, and it was just an awkward time to get him into a story. I hope this isn't a thing where I guess there's Samoa Joe we can toss in. I want it to be all right, Samoa Joe, here we go. I want you to be the best you can be in this situation. Because
he is 38 years old, Samoa Joe. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of these, I saw a post or something about new era or whatever, or young era or something, or giving talent to the newer, younger guys. And I was like, well, most of the people who are in the spotlight are kind of 35 and up, except for...
Yeah, I thought about this. That it seems like a lot of the people that are in NXT that get called up, they look new, they look new, so you think that they're young.
Yeah.
But Samoa Joe's 38, Shinsuke's 36 or 37, something like that.
I think Finn's
32, 33, something like that. So these guys, they're older, but they're just new to the WWE, so it seems like they're young. Seth Rollins, I think, just turned 30 years old.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
It's not like how it was back in the day. I don't think we're gonna have a Randy Orton situation again.
No.
Because he comes in, he was 22 and wins the title and was the youngest.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
let's look at Tyler Bate being fresh into 19, and he is the UK champion, or was the UK championship. Now give that what you will, given how the UK championship has been handled.
Yes, but is he on the main roster?
No. Okay. All right. I guess everything beneath is still developmental. So all right.
Yeah, I could say he's kind of more the exception to the rule. But just Hideo Itami's 35, 36. These guys that are down in NXT, why they put him how I don't even know how old is Bobby Roode.
I think I saw he was 40, 42 or something. He's kind of up there.
He's 40 years old.
40, yeah.
These guys, I guess part of it is that they haven't been wrestling the 5 nights a week, that WWE does. They maybe one or 2 or 3 maybe. So they don't have as much wear and tear on their bodies so that they can keep doing it at an older age. Whereas you had Shawn Michaels retire at, how old was he?
He was
Well,
mid 40s.
Yeah, mid 40s.
Yeah. I mean, you got John Cena's 39 now, I think, and he's slowing down quite a bit.
Mm.
So, I mean, these guys, John Cena's been on the main roster since he was, 24, 25, maybe, something like that. So,
Well,
I think these older guys are still able to keep doing this because they haven't been doing the 5 nights a week or whatever.
Well, just think about it. I mean, some people who are coming from New Japan Pro Wrestling, AJ, Shinsuke, like, how much of a relief must it be on their body to not have to constantly put on those crazy hard-hitting matches? You know, they can actually protect themselves a little bit. Granted, the match
But you're
quality
still
kinda goes
wrestling
down.
5 nights a week rather
Yeah.
than, 2?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I feel like, I don't know.
You're
AJ,
definitely
to
working
me,
more. Yeah.
I think AJ, he at 38, he's not slowing down at all. So I think it's more quantity of matches to me than what happens in the match, it almost seems like, because he might be doing those really like hard hitting matches, but how many other people at like 38, 39 years old are doing some of the moves that he's doing on a nightly basis, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough about wrestlers' health, I guess, and taking bumps and all that. But to me, it just seems like it looks like the quantity of matches that you do seems to affect you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think too with now they're super strict on. I mean, if you stub your toe that morning, there's a chance you're not going to be wrestling that day. That's about how strict they are with it. So I feel like the new rules that they have now, compared to back in the Attitude Era days, early 2000s, late 90s, and all that. I think I think that's why you see some of these older guys that wrestle for them that are able to go a little bit more. So yeah, well,
Is that it for Raw?
I just want to say, just because my inner 6-year-old is gonna be mad at me if I don't. I love what Goldust is doing. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, SmackDown, Scott, go.
Oh, so they showed the women's Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, they
briefcase.
did. Yeah, they did.
It looks good. It looks like the belt, sort of like the white. I like it. And we also got the debut of Lana
Oh, she was smoking,
as
dude.
a
Gosh.
in-ring competitor, I guess. And she really didn't debut. I mean, she debuted, but she didn't actually wrestle.
Yeah.
But she does have a championship match at Money in the Bank against Naomi. So
How
my
about that?
niece will be okay as long as Naomi wins.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
see what happens.
I forgot. Yeah, we were kind of worried about that for a while.
Yeah, I was really hoping that's what was going to happen because I didn't see any other way Naomi was going to get a match.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how they did it. I mean, at the same time, I don't know how I feel. I agree and I disagree with it. Like Lana comes out and wants to be in the Money in the Bank match, and then Shane says no, you didn't earn it, and then she's like, well, what about a championship match? And then she's like, no. And then Shane's like, no, you didn't earn it. But then they had a 6-man tag, and then Lana interferes, and then Naomi demands it, that she's in the championship match against Lana. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. It just didn't. It's not really a SmackDown thing, I guess, just to give Lana a match like that after she interfered, and because Naomi demands it. I don't.
To me, and that it would have made most sense to just put her in the Money in the Bank match. I mean, the match is already a who's who of who's going to win. So what is the problem just putting in one more?
Because this is, to me, it's because it's Lana's debut match. So going to that, since it is her debut match, how many people lose their debut match? That's the question. So I don't know how. I guess I'm gonna have to see how Lana does next week, with like a little bit more character. Oh, now I lost it. We'll see how our character, we get any more development, development. That's what I was looking for, to see if she's any. And she does have her Russian accent, which I was curious about. I was like, are they gonna drop it? Are they gonna keep it?
Yeah.
So I just don't know if I see her as a champion right now.
Well, the mark within me is worried about that, but the fan in me that doesn't give a damn is kind of excited about that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
that
it'll
could
be.
open the door to just some, and it may fail. It may be the worst thing they've ever done, but it's they're taking risks. They're this is that trusting your talent, and just that they're even giving her first match. I mean, yeah, she did the WrestleMania thing, but her first like match just with her
singles
is
match
for the belt, So
I might have to go back and rewatch
sink or
the
swim,
WrestleMania
sink or swim.
match.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
she
trying
didn't
to
do bad. It was
No,
basic,
yeah.
but I mean,
I'm
I
trying.
mean, it's your tag matches. To me, you can definitely hide a lot of flaws because you can just tag out. So we'll see what happens.
I'm definitely trying to keep in a open mind with this,
Mm-hmm.
like I did for Jinder Mahal and his run. But it's just, I don't know. It's just really tough for me with Lana, just because I'm not the biggest fan that they kept the Russian accent, or I at least hope that she kind of loses it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not as thick or something. I can take it or leave it, but
Yeah, I can see the pros and cons of it because you've already developed this character of Lana beforehand, of Rusev's manager, and then to me it's like if you would have dropped it then, it's almost like you're trying to build her as a whole new character. But then if they go back to Rusev Lana, then what are you gonna do? So I can kind of see why they kept it. I agree with you. I can take it or leave it with the accent, but I was curious of what they were gonna do with it.
I feel like I would just take her more seriously if she didn't have the accent, because
especially with the total divas that we know it's BS now.
Yeah. But I don't know. This was just her first time being seen, so I'll try not to think too much on it and just let her next performance or whatever really speak for itself.
I'll let you know how the crowd reacts, guys.
Okay.
I gotta do my shameless plug. I gotta do my shameless plug there. Okay. Oh, I had something else I was gonna say. What was it? I don't know. But it was funny because whenever Lana came out and they were talking Naomi, that Charlotte and Becky were there, they were acting like they were like drinking tea in the corner of the ring. It was pretty funny. Oh, I had Jinder Mahal. So Jinder Mahal took on Mojo Rawley, and if Rawley won, he was going to be in the Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I didn't know how it was going to pan out, which is always a good thing because it's more fun when you just don't know what's going to happen. I could see them putting Mojo in it. But at the same time, I could see him losing because Jinder's the champ. But I think I have another problem with Jinder Mahal now, and this guy is jacked beyond belief. There's no doubt about it. He still can't get a clean win, though.
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't like it. You're gonna have a guy who looks like that, but he can't win a match by himself without the Singh brothers getting involved. I think it's a little ridiculous.
Is that some genuine heel heat I'm feeling radiating?
It's not heat. Screen? No, it's not heat. It's just I think it's stupid how you're gonna have a guy who looks like that and he still can't like beat somebody up.
Scott, we just
like how would you feel if what?
We need to be honest with ourselves. If had he had beaten anybody but Randy, you would love Jinder.
No, I wouldn't. You could put anyone else in opposite. Okay, how would you feel if Brock Lesnar goes out there and the only reason he's winning a match is because Paul Heyman is somehow getting involved? It works for Miz and Maurice because that's just Miz's character. But to me, Jinder Mahal, you have that guy looking like a complete monster with how ripped he is, and he still can't win a match with like just his brute force.
Okay, so you can compare this to whenever Seth won his or I guess you could say stole his championship back when he had the World Heavyweight belt.
Seth did not look like Jinder Mahal though.
No,
yes, he had muscles. He is not like completely ripped to the point where Jinder Mahal.
Not completely ripped, but I get for his character, he had one of the most devastating finishers of his time, i.e. the curb stomp.
What's a curb stomp? I've never seen a curb stomp.
You're
before.
right. You're right. I've never. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
But I mean, you could almost compare that. Like, okay, I guess he had a really ripped finisher, man. That finisher. I mean, so he had a really great finisher. You really believed it. Anytime he hit it, you actually felt like, okay, yeah, the guy's not gonna kick out. It's done. Ball game, as JBL would say. But I mean, he still had, I want to say the Basham brothers, because they're both bald. Yeah. Not bald, but I mean Joey Mercury and oh God, what's his name? I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we know. Jamie Noble.
The hillbilly, as I know him.
So yeah, they still interfered with matches periodically, and even then, I mean,
yeah, but it worked for Seth's character. To me, Jinder's character should not need help.
I don't know if it's help. I mean, I totally get it. I totally see what you're saying.
Okay, as long as someone understands my thought process, that's all I really care about. I don't care if you agree with me or not.
I totally buy that side, but I feel like his thing is almost like the king or whatever. So that, I mean, I don't want to have to get my hands dirty, so I'll just let these guys do it, you know, and I'll take.
But then why is he in the matches then? Then why is he in the matches at all?
I mean, I just think
he has his title. Why should he get in the match with Mojo Rawley on a random SmackDown episode? Why wouldn't he have the Singh brothers take him on then? If you want to look at it that way.
Well, we don't know, Scott. We aren't. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I didn't write the script that night, Scott. I didn't write it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Write it. My thing is, I saw the match too. I watched it, and it just doesn't bother me. To me, he's a heel using heel shenanigans to get his W's. And
I mean, I'd be fine. I'd be better with it if he was like just doing stuff behind the ref's back by himself. But it's the fact that he has these other two people outside the ring helping him. That's what bothers me. Because, I mean, I've already said it's because how he looks. I do not feel like he needs outside help he shouldn't need outside help to win these matches. I feel like the Singh brothers should be more like a Paul Heyman, and where they're just kind of there with him. Not really getting like a true manager, not somebody who's not a J&J security. Does that make more sense?
I guess.
So this week we learned that Scott indeed judges books by their cover. No, I'm joking.
What? Where does that?
I'm joking. Love you, Scott. Love you.
I think we should maybe move on from Jinder, because I know that me and Scott can easily carry our own podcast talking about Jinder. So, what's
he actually wrestled this week there, so that's a plus. I hadn't seen him wrestle in 3 weeks.
What's next on the SmackDown docket?
This docket word, that's the second time today you said that.
I like it. I like
docket.
Styles got his win back over Dolph Ziggler.
Nice. That was a pretty good match. I like.
You know how he won it? Styles Clash.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen him win a match with a Styles Clash on WWE television.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
If it's happened, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like
because it's the phenomenal forearm that always. Yeah. They did the style. They teased it for a few months, and then he finally did it, and he wasn't getting wins with it. Yeah. So I'm glad to see he's finally getting a win with a Styles Clash.
Yeah.
The thing I'm liking about their matches is the shoot wrestling that they're doing at the beginning, the whole grappling and really trying to get the advantage over the other person. Yeah. I like that. It fits for, I feel like, both of them. So and not everybody can do it well, but given that it's AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler who has legit experience in that stuff, I feel like there are people who can pull it off and actually make it look good and actually make it look like a extension of the match and not just a spot put there for whatever reason.
Okay, carrying on. I have a question pertaining to a certain Sami Zayn.
Okay.
This guy, he's just the Sami Zayn.
Okay.
El Generico, if you would rather.
I didn't know which one you were talking about. You said a certain Sami Zayn.
Yeah. So. He always is getting. I know that's his character. Is he's just constantly getting beat up. He got blindsided again by Baron Corbin this week. I'm like, I understand if you're gonna do an like an underdog, but the guy, he's just always just getting blindsided and just constantly getting destroyed just outside the ring. Not like does
Yeah,
that make sense?
yeah.
I mean,
And I don't know if I really
I guess
care
they're
about
building up
Sami Zayn
Baron.
anymore.
I
Like,
mean, I guess they're building up Baron Corbin that way. But to me, he's just. It's almost to the point now where Sammy just looks dumb.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's not getting.
Yeah.
Someone's not getting the one up on him. He just looks dumb because you should be expecting it at this point.
yeah.
So I don't. I feel like they need to do something else with Sami Zayn. If you want to go the Daniel Bryan route, that's fine. Get him the underdog where, the odds are stacked against him. It's the odds stacked against you is one thing, but just always getting blindsided and just getting the crap beat out of you is
Yeah.
just.
Mm.
There comes a point when you just look stupid.
Yeah, he's somebody that I really liked to watch, especially that match with him and Cena.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, when he dislocated his shoulder before the match even started?
Yeah, so that match
And he still
at the
did a
time,
diving tornado DDT through the ropes. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
That match at that time was one of the best matches that WWE had put on TV in a long time.
That the U.S. You can hate on John Cena as much as you want. That U.S. Open Challenge, those matches,
Yeah, they were good.
that was
Spot
the.
on.
It was like we all say that we're not big John Cena fans, but you cannot deny his U.S. Open Challenge when he had that belt was just his run as that U.S. title was something else. It was some good television.
I just hate to see Sammy, just like anybody else, go from that point to now. It's just like I don't even care to watch him wrestle when he comes on TV. Honestly, I'm checking
And he's
my
so
phone.
good. He's so good.
Yeah.
Like if
And
you
they're
actually
just-
let him do it, he's so good.
Got to use your talent,
Oh.
man. But I guess there's got to be that one person that kind of falls through the cracks a little bit because yes, they're using all these people, but okay, like there just can't be room for everybody.
Mm.
Like, and it sucks that he's the guy that has to kind of take that. But
I mean, they put him out there when they want a good match and they want the other guy to look really good, which I mean, that's great that they trust him to do that, but it's like Sammy deserves so much more than that.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if it were me, he would have already had at least a U.S. championship run or an Intercontinental championship
Give him
run.
give him something, to make him believable. Because having him go into matches and just lose every big match, he won against Baron Corbin at that last pay-per-view, right?
Yeah,
and he went,
he got one
which
over.
is surprising. It's good. He finally needs to start building up some of these wins. But to me, as he stands right now, he just looks dumb. His character just looks dumb.
Well,
So if they could start doing something else with him, having him win, that's an ingenious idea. But
well, and that I guess that's the point I always get with the Miz and Dean thing. Like you have two people that like constantly go after the same.
Are they still feuding? I hear they're still feuding.
I think they are.
I believe, but now the feud there's one more person involved. There's a grandfather clock that is no longer with us.
I heard a bear also got beat up or something. Somebody dressed up as a bear.
Yeah, it was a crazy night. But no, we give opportunity after opportunity to the same people over and over. But yet people like Sami Zayn who could use a little bit of loving, they don't get nothing.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have.
You know what I heard today is the John Cena, Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice match at Mania. Originally, it was supposed to be John Cena versus Undertaker at Mania, right? We all heard that rumor back in December, January. Originally, that was supposed to be Dean Ambrose and Renee Young against Miz and Maurice.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
But no, when you think about it, that would literally be Dean and the Miz since January. That is 6 months of the same feud. That John Cena was the only breakup we've had between the Miz and Diz. I mean,
I think
Dean and Miz.
if they would put on the quality matches that they put on at Extreme Rules every single time, then honestly, I probably wouldn't be too upset. Or maybe a majority of it was that Dean had the belt, and I really don't like it when Dean has the belt. But just anytime the Miz has the Intercontinental Championship belt, I can always look forward to liking the Miz. I told Matt before we started that I'm really high on The Miz right now. The Miz, for me, can do very little wrong, except for
Yeah, the Miz is great. I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with a long story if you want to do like your Seth Rollins Triple H build up like you did for Mania this year.
Yeah.
I'm okay with your long stories. But what I have a problem with is that long story consists of the same two people fighting every single week. You know, you got to break it up. You got to do something else.
Every single week, every single segment together, I agree. That is too much and not proper, spacing it out. And I mean, going into the old days where you could have two people feuding together, start the feud, and get a little bit into it, have one of the guys disappear for a couple of weeks just because it was a 2-hour show back then. You could still develop the story through promos or stuff like that, but you're always wrestling different people and then come back together periodically. It's kind of like, was it? Well, we talked about this with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. The feud was built, but they actually never fought until I can't even think of the pay-per-view where he won it at. But yeah, they held that match off for a
Backlash,
while.
right? I think
it was Backlash. So.
Okay. Well, right now I can honestly say with Money in the Bank, I don't know who's gonna win.
Oh,
which is I love that feeling, not knowing who's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
I would say after just from the booking, there's been a lot of I guess you could say 50-50 booking, but the one person is Nakamura, he's the one who has not lost yet. I would say that right now, if you're looking at wins, Nakamura would be the favorite, but even that, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard saying.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I feel like if you were to give Nakamura the win for the Money in the Bank, it'd almost be a little bit too much. I like it when, like, for the beginning of his match with Kevin Owens had the majority of the lead and everything. And you can hear our dog. There we go. Yeah, very nice. But, no, I like it whenever you have someone who is strong, but doesn't always look strong. Nakamura can be weak, and everybody can be weak unless you're like
looking back at Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
He did not look strong coming out of that match at all.
No, So my thing is,
that better be Publishers Clearinghouse at our door.
Yeah, that better be. We better have won like $5,000 a week for life.
This interruption.
But no, I'm fine with Nakamura losing the Money in the Bank or whatever, which may sound weird. I'm also fine with like Kevin Owens losing the Money in the Bank. I'm fine with that. To me, like they can all be wrapped up in so many different things. I'd be fine if they lost. I just can't really pin down who I'd be okay with, like, winning, because they're all great choices.
You have one more week left to figure it out, because...
Yeah, these picks are going to be tough. And then, you know what? What happened to the Extreme Rules picks? Who actually won that? Did we figure that out? Because I think that...
I never got any messages.
I never got any messages, too. Scott,
well, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even watch any of it. This is how much I paid attention to this pay-per-view. I did not watch it Sunday night. I watched part of it Monday night, part of it Tuesday night, and part of it Wednesday night. That's how much I cared about this pay-per-view going into it.
It was good.
It was okay. I mean, yeah, it was good, but it was... I didn't care about that much going into it. It exceeded my expectations. I just didn't care about it going into it.
I haven't watched it. I was in St. Louis with NWL, and I had the results read to me. And I figured, okay, I'll go back and pick the important ones to go watch. But
I haven't tallied them up yet, so
I think it was your boy. I'm just gonna toss it out there.
Your boy.
We'll go ahead and say Ye Boy for me. Ye Boy. I'm pretty sure I came out the victor in that one, but it's whatever, you know. Champions don't need to be held up on such a high pedestal like moi. So, but yeah.
It was me picking freaking Dean Ambrose because somebody got all offended.
I don't care. Just give me Dean, then. I don't care.
I already knew I was gonna lose.
My thing is, I'm pretty sure I won because who in the hell picked Samoa Joe? Yeah, it was your boy. It was your
Okay.
boy. I think that
I'll
got
tally
me
it up
locked in.
afterwards, and I'll let you know. Okay.
All right, tune in next time. No, we'll see. What else?
Well, I mean, that's really about it on SmackDown. I mean, you got the clones jobbing out to New Day, so
Yeah, that's whatever. Oh
Or
no!
mine.
When the Usos came out and were totally having a roast fest on the New Day, I was in love with
Yeah.
that. I am another group I'm really happy for is the Usos. Anytime they're putting on promos, I'm really digging it. The whole it's not paranoia or whatever. It's the Usos.
Yeah.
I like that. That like there's an edge to the Usos right now that
It's
I'm really
because
digging.
their day is H, man. Every day they wake up, their day is H. So
And then whenever the New Day interacted with the Fashion Police, that was kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like
it was
that.
all right. To me, it was not my favorite Fashion Files I've seen yet,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely
it
not. No, it
was fine.
Scott, you are a tough one to please, my friend.
Oh yeah.
This week I was, as a wrestling fan, I was tough to please because I was
Maybe
just.
it's just because
This
like,
week was just one of those weeks that I was just not super motivated. You know, I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happens every once in a while where I just kind of
I was
You know.
motivated. I even watched NXT.
Yeah.
well, I didn't even watch NXT.
Segue.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay,
So,
Noah,
yeah.
what happened on NXT?
Yeah. I was really happy with this episode. It wasn't one of the greatest, but it was definitely something nice to watch for an hour's worth of professional wrestling entertainment. So just going off in an interesting order, Killian Dane and No Way Jose. It was just a little something to do for No Way. Nothing really interesting. But it's great to see the Ulster Plantation finisher from Killian Dane. I don't know why.
The One-Winged Angel?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I know it as, One-Winged Angel. But I read an article just about how No Way Jose is sort of in a very underdog-ish, Sami Zayn-ish position where people want him to do well, but he just never does. So
I'm just I hate WWE underdog characters.
yeah, I agree.
I think the worst thing for that character, to be completely honest with you, and I know it's going to be rough to hear you guys say this for me,
boy.
is Daniel Bryan, because he actually made it work, and no one else has ever has made it work the way that Daniel Bryan has. I
would
think
agree with that.
knowing that Daniel Bryan made it work, they think that's how they need to do every single other underdog
Well, my
character,
thing- I don't know.
and it's
like,
killed that character.
My thing is, what was it about? We'll have to get into this some other time because I know that this will be like a very long topic of conversation. But I'll just let it simmer in your mind. We can talk about it later. But just what made Daniel Bryan's underdog story so much different?
Wait,
Or what did he do?
I can answer that in one word.
Okay.
Physique. Just his overall look. Like, he wasn't this muscle bound, and you could say CM Punk was in the same boat with his look, but he wasn't this like muscle bound. Oh my gosh, dude! He was a guy that was like, look, to me, he was what the Just Bailey thing is trying to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a wrestling fan that loves to wrestle, loves putting on.
He was an organic underdog,
Yeah.
He wasn't built to be the underdog. It just worked. That's how, because just his size made it to where you wouldn't believe him winning all these matches. But he was such a great wrestler and he just knew how to wrestle whoever he was wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how he won his matches. And whereas to me, you can't book somebody to do that. That was just Daniel Bryan. Like, Dave Meltzer has an award that he does every single year called the Bryan Danielson Award. It is named after Daniel Bryan, and it's the best technical wrestler. So
Scott's goal is to one day be the recipient of that award.
yeah.
That'd be kind of dope.
I am wearing one of my many Daniel Bryan shirts today.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, going on, riveting.
That is a very
discussion
short
there.
story of how Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, very
Succeeded.
summarize there. But
See, we knocked that question out real
yeah,
fast.
I thought that. I mean, it was.
I can continue on for a while, but
Hey,
I know when to keep it short.
But I'm going on. Bobby Roode and Roderick Strong now seem locked in to a little feud and maybe a championship match in the future. So it seems.
I kind of hope it's a short feud, to be honest with you, because I feel like there's other people I'd rather see in that position. Not that Roderick Strong isn't good, I just think that there's other people on NXT who would benefit from a championship match more than Roderick Strong does at this point.
Aleister Black.
As a fan, yes, I would love that. But honestly, I think right now, if your number one person should be Drew McIntyre. How long has Roderick Strong been wrestling on NXT now? It's maybe what I think.
It hasn't been a year, that's for sure.
A month or two? I thought. Well, I don't even think it's even been that long.
It's been a while. It's been like 5-6 months.
He's been on there that long.
Yeah, he's been on there for a while.
Well,
he just
maybe not. Then.
This is the first time in a long while that he's actually.
Well, it's just. I guess this is just from the billing that I've seen the past month or two. To me, Drew McIntyre looks better for that spot than Roderick Strong.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do this, I hope it's a one and done sort of thing. But I don't know. The more I watch Roderick Strong's matches, the more I like him. I don't like his mic work. I don't like his character all that much.
Like I've said before, he just does not look like this is another underdog character. He just doesn't look like an underdog character.
Yeah, they've kind of done that in the storytelling.
Well, his in ring stories is he wrestles like an underdog.
Well,
like a Johnny Gargano. He wrestles like that.
Yeah, but that they've initiated that, so you can probably see that in the next couple episodes of NXT, maybe. For me, the best match was without a doubt Hideo Itami and Oni Lorcan. A really stiff match, and I really like those matches just because they're few and far in between on WWE television, and anytime you see Oni Lorcan, you're usually guaranteed a pretty tough match, which is crazy because the guy hasn't done any promos or anything, hasn't held the mic in his hand once, but you just know that anytime you see him wrestle, you're going to get a pretty tough and physical match. So I really like that. What was it? Peyton Royce fought some Joe Schmo, and it was a decent match. It was the best she's probably looked, given that I think her last match was probably like the Battle Royal or something they had for the number one contendership for the women's belt.
Who is this? Sorry, who?
Peyton Royce.
Oh, okay.
There was that, but I think her second best match, aside from this, was the Fatal 4-Way for the women's belt back at whatever takeover it was. She's getting better. If you want someone that you can clearly see their skill getting a little bit better and better.
Could you imagine how tough it's got to be a woman on that roster right now with Asuka and knowing that Ember Moon is just lurking, waiting to come back?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, you got to work your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that, and then you've also got the other two girls whose names, like Ruby Riott and
Nikki Cross. Yeah.
Nikki Cross. Gosh, I'm struggling.
It would just be a tough time to be I keep wanting to call them divas, and that's not what they are.
Divas, yeah.
It's not what they are.
The women.
The women wrestlers.
Yes.
Of NXT. It would be tough to be one right now because there's so much talent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, because there's not a lot of talent there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Peyton Royce is looking better. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. At this time, it's really your in-ring work is gonna have to speak for itself with the NXT Women's Division. Your mic skills, whatever, can be as good as they want, but right now, what they need is good wrestlers, and so hopefully that all this time in the developmental system, hopefully they can definitely, make make good with the tools that they have down there to become something great. Just because, as I said, with Asuka holding the belts, it can't. The next championship winner cannot just be anybody. It can't just be Peyton Royce or a Billie Kay. It has to be somebody to really knock off this undefeated streak that Asuka has had. It can't just go to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've almost put Scott to sleep. So
Yeah.
no.
Sorry, no. I was just trying to think. I don't.
It's okay, Scott. It's
I think
okay.
Ember Moon right now is who they're trying to build up to be that person.
Yeah. Need her to come back. That's what we need.
Yeah.
She should be back.
Well, she was on, wasn't
She's doing the house
she? She
show.
cut like a segment or whatever.
Yeah.
An interview of some sort.
Yeah, there's I think it was
You said
little
she's back on house
interview.
shows?
I think I saw her on
Oh, that's
her Instagram or something. She's doing house shows again, unless it's their like old photos or something. I think she's back on the house show circuit.
Cool.
I can't think of anything else. Did you have anything in mind?
Nope. 205 Live.
For this rendition of 205 Live, all I want to say is that their championship matches now mean nothing to me because it's so obvious that it's a futile attempt to grab ratings.
Yeah.
Because they had a championship match, TJP versus Neville. And while, yeah, it was a good match, it just meant nothing. Because, to me, the next clear winner is going to be Austin Aries. And they had a great match at Extreme Rules, probably one of the better technical matches of that night.
You should not have a technical match at a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules.
Well, even then,
Just want to throw that out there.
Even then, for it being Extreme Rules, they made very good work. It's similar how the Miz and Dean made very good work.
Okay, I want to go back real
quick. With their stipulation, Austin Aries and Neville did the exact same thing. They made it work and made it work well.
I want to go back real quick to talking about Extreme Rules.
Scott's
So
turn.
it exceeded my expectations of what to expect in this pay-per-view, but it was a horrible pay-per-view under the name of Extreme Rules.
Noah's turn.
Yeah.
Scott's turn. Oh, this one sucks.
I'm just saying, you have a I was listening to another podcast today, and this person said
What?
this. It's like, yes,
You
I listen to
traitor?
other
You
podcasts,
traitor?
guys. I didn't go on the show, but anyway, they said that.
No kidding.
They said that. What is that supposed to mean? You saying I'm not good enough to go on another podcast?
God.
No, what they said was that Ms. Dean Ambrose match is the exact opposite of an Extreme Rules match, meaning that if you do anything extreme, you lose the title. That is the most opposite of you can do for Extreme Rules.
They should have called it not Extreme Rules or anything but. I would just call it that. Anything but.
All right, yeah.
I mean, so you had a title changes hands on a DQ. That's not a Extreme Rules match. You had that tag team match with Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. There was nothing extreme about that.
No.
You had the cage match, which was, it was okay. It was a good, it was a good cage match.
Yeah,
but
it was a good match.
how they did it, it wasn't that extreme of a cage match.
I feel like at this point in time, wrestling fans like us who have seen
Yeah, we didn't really even talk about the fallout of Extreme Rules.
I don't know.
There ain't much of a fallout though.
Yeah, there is.
You got the Hardy Boys lost the titles.
Okay.
Where's that going to go?
We
Well,
don't
you
know
guys are
if they
horrible
did.
at this. Next, continuing on.
But yeah,
I'm trying to think. You had a submission match at a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules.
So let me go ahead and just say that if I hope, Scott, that the name of this pay-per-view did not deter you from legitimately enjoying the matches that were there. I'll go ahead and say, yeah, for the name Extreme Rules, it was bad. It was not good.
WWE should just get rid of this pay-per-view altogether, to be honest.
agree.
That and
I
Great
agree.
Balls of Fire. Yeah.
Well,
Have you seen the logo?
Yeah, I've seen the logo, and
Yeah.
Sasha Banks
Did you?
agrees.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. We all know what we're talking about here.
That was.
But no, I just think that pay-per-view name aside, there were a lot of great matches. And I just hope that like casual fans who watched it didn't get deterred by it, because I'm okay with it. I know I've
You're
seen
okay with that
past-
pay-per-view being called Extreme Rules.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's bad for.
All right, we're
Extreme Rules, but
continuing
I've-
on.
hang on.
What else
I've-
happened on 205
I've
Live,
seen
Noah?
past Extreme Rules pay-per-views, so I know what to expect. I know that it's not going to be deathmatch wrestling. I know that. So for me, it doesn't bother me.
Oh yeah, you also had that kendo stick on a pole match, but that was a disgrace.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. So, but yeah, I mean, now that I've gotten my 48 cents in, because it's definitely more than 2. But yeah, I mean, really, just for 205 Live, that was really it. The fact that just the status of their championship belts, how it's just being used to get. It's kind of crazy. 205 Live is the anti-WWE formula. We don't want to have a championship match unless it's on a pay-per-view. 205 Live. We need ratings. We got to put a championship match on here, like stat pronto. Who are we gonna put in? It's the complete opposite of like what the typical WWE status quo is, and it's just kind of gotten pathetic. So that's really it for 205 Live. There is pretty much legitimately nothing else to talk about for 205 Live.
And JPW, any developments?
Any developments?
Continuing to wait for July 1st and 2nd.
They had, I don't know if they've had or they are preparing for press conferences, which are free down at the convention center that they're holding it at. So, like, if you want to catch some cool behind-the-scenes stuff, you can do that on the, I want to say it's the 30th of this month. Yeah, you can go in there, watch some just cool little backstage promos and whatnot.
Isn't Dominion coming up?
Yeah, Dominion is coming up. It's in the next 3 days now, I want to say. Okada and Omega are getting the rematch from their 6-star Wrestle Kingdom match. So it'll be pleasant to see that, you know.
I have so much to say, and I'm just not going to say it.
Boyle. Look at him boil.
Hey, I'm not going to say it's a 6-star match, but I mean, it's the rating that Sir Dave Meltzer gave it himself. So.
Yeah, your boy Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets the rating system from, because it is just...
Rumor has it that they're going to win the Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan Award, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Because that's one rumor I haven't heard yet.
Well, you heard it first here on High Risk, boy.
No, that Dominion, that's going to be a good one. I mean, just for that match alone, it'll definitely be a good... I don't know, do you call them pay-per-views over there? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah, the Dominion pay-per-view.
I mean, technically, WWE doesn't even have pay-per-views anymore, because you don't really pay per the view that you see.
Not
it
unless
the
you're, like, really dumb. Because to me, to actually
they
pay
call them
for your
pay-per-views,
cable
they're really just
subscription-
network specials, is what they like if they want to get professional with their terms.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then just some cool side stuff with New Japan. The most recent Tekken fighting game came out, and for the alternate attires that you can wear in the game, there is a Kazuchika Okada attire that you can wear for the King character, which is pretty cool because that character's wrestling style is already wrestling style. It's pretty much just, suplexes and stuff. It's really cool. Then I think Kenny Omega is also a
I think they
skin.
just have Bullet Club shirts, because I've seen a lot of just Bullet Club shirts from that game on my Twitter feed.
Well, I thought there was someone who just kind of looks like Kenny Omega, and then you put the Bullet Club shirt on him, and then it just sort of completes the entire look.
I don't know. I don't play Tekken, so I can't tell you.
Me neither. But I've just stuff that I've seen, and just cool little stuff there. I mean, they don't have their own game like WWE does, but it's just some nice little cross promotion there. But with New Japan, that is just about it.
All right.
Anything from my boy Marty Skrull? He's on New Japan.
Open up an umbrella on people. That was about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This guy has a nice umbrella.
You guys are haters, man.
Yeah. I saw the spot that you're talking about where he like
He snaps her fingers.
Yeah,
it looks so. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I
it's
saw
amazing.
That. We'll have to look into this next
You
time.
know what, Noah?
We've said some stuff about Lucha Underground and their pops for whenever they do like a enziguri or something. Most times, the wrestlers will like slap their thighs or something to get the extra pop. These guys in Lucha, they aren't doing it at all. So we have like just a little thought that there's somebody on the outside that's kind of strategically clapping their hands to get that bonus little pop in.
Well, at least on Lucha Underground, you can even go post-production too, because Lucha Underground isn't live.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, we didn't even think about that. Wow.
I didn't.
Like the most obvious answer, we were like trying to find some secret conspiracy the entire time.
Yeah.
But that's it for everything.
All right. Any more final thoughts? Anything at all before I sign this out?
No.
Take it away.
All right, guys. This has been this week's episode of High Risk Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, High Risk, Twitter at High Risk Podcast, right here on YouTube at High Risk Podcast. Another good week in wrestling. Unless you're Scott, then it was kind of just meh. But,
True story.
So definitely let us know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below, or you can tweet us or message us on Facebook, whatever. Let us know what you thought. Weigh in on anything that we're talking about. I always say this because not a lot of people know. If you want to watch some of the NJPW stuff, they show matches on Access TV Friday nights at 7 o'clock. Those are a little dated, a couple months old, but you still get to see what that product is like. Again, that strong style of wrestling that they do over there. And they also have their own little network of sorts, and it's called
New Japan World.
New Japan World.
Noah, did you ever get yours working?
No, I just kind of have been, procrastinating on calling my bank just because
So you just gave up. You just gave up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely make sure your bank knows that you're going to be making transactions with Japan. Otherwise, they will lock that account up because Japan won't be getting any money. So, so definitely tune in to Access, if nothing else, to check that out. All right, I'm Matt Sharp. Noah, Scott, see you guys in a week.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's how this whole podcast thing works. We reconvene at an interesting time,
Yep.
Yeah, we will be previewing Money in the Bank, which I will be there.
Yes.
Oh, what is this? Is this episode 9?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so next episode you're hopefully going to see our faces. We're going to try and get that worked out for you guys. Mm-hmm. That way you have something to watch and you can see, just how hot Scott gets when we talk about Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
But until then, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for the likes, the shares, the follows, the messages. We appreciate it. And remember, always tuck your chin.